everyone, welcome to another Cliffhanger Cup video. Today we're going to be discussing some of the top grass picks for Cliffhanger Cup. Some ones that I recommend, some ones that I like, and ones that I don't like as well. So let's get straight into it and we'll open up and see what types we've got to work with here. And here we are, the top 7 Pokemon as listed by pvpoke.com. Venusaur, Tropius, Meganium, top 3 there. And they're also 5-point Pokemon. Interestingly enough, they put Ivysaur quite low down, even though the Cliffhanger Cup, he's actually a 5-point Pokemon, and I completely agree. I think he's trash. If you want to replace Venusaur, use Meganium. And if you haven't got a Frenzy Plant Meganium or a Frenzy Plant Venusaur, and you want something that charges up quicker, I guess if you have to, you can take Ivysaur. I just think you'd be better off with some of the other options. Let's move on into them. Ludicolo, a fan favourite from the North American Championships. He is a Razor Leaf user, water and grass typing, so the only real advantage I can see of using Ludicolo is that he'll take neutral damage from fire attacks instead of taking super effective. That being said, he does have Ice Beam. The rest of his moves take too long to charge up. He's usually dead before he gets to that point. Razor Leaf doesn't charge energy very quickly at all. It does good damage, but I think there's better Razor Leaf users out there. Poor little Ivysaur, I give him such a hard rap. It's not his fault he doesn't get Frenzy Plant. He doesn't really work as well as a Razor Leaf user compared to the other Razor Leaf users. So for this cup, for 5 points, I strongly recommend staying away from Ivysaur and looking into other options for your grass user. Red's next, who's another poison grass Pokemon. Another Razor Leafer here. There are better Razor Leafers out there. The interesting thing with Roserade is that she does get Dazzling Gleam, which could be an interesting move to take. The only reason I would probably take Roserade if I wanted to switch it up and actually use it as a poison Pokemon with Poison Jab. I think there are other better Razor Leafers out there, especially ones that cost little to nothing. But it's there, it's an interesting pick. We have Torterra, which is a grass and ground type user. Definitely a Razor Leafer here. I can't see any play with Bite on him, and as you can see, his charge moves are all very high energy costs, and with Razor Leaf charging up so slow, he's really not that great of a pick. He needs 2 shields to beat Medicham. There's a lot of other Razor Leafers that don't need that, so I would advise against picking him. And we have Breloom, sweet little Breloom. He's a cool little guy, absolute glass cannon though, does some massive damage, but really he's a fighter. He's not a grass type. He doesn't have the impact with Bullet Seed and Grass Knot. But yeah, counter, Donate, Punch and Grass Knot will probably be the combination you're likely to see. Maybe somebody could throw in a Sludge Bomb. But yeah, he does do big damage, but yeah, he'll die quick. So I would look elsewhere for a grass Pokemon. However, for an interesting little fighter with a little bit of grass utility, not the worst. Now the Swiss Army knife for the grass Pokemon is Sceptile. Now, do I think it's the best grass Pokemon? Definitely not. Not from a grass sense. But from a sense of, I don't know what he's got. I don't know what he's going to throw at me. Yes, he is. He's definitely got the most ability with all those charge moves: Earthquake, Aerial Ace, Dragon Claw, Leaf Blade, and Frenzy Plant. Obviously, Frenzy Plant and Earthquake are the highest damage output. Leaf Blade is very much up there, it's at 2, Earthquake's at 1.8 DPE. And yeah, really interesting, surprises a lot of people, but it just doesn't have the bulk to survive to get to a lot of those attacks. But yeah, it could be one that's interesting. If you want to surprise some people with it, that's great. If you haven't versed one before, check him out, because you may end up getting hit with a few things that you weren't expecting. The last video, I didn't really give Tropius a glowing report. Said it was a better flying Pokemon than it is a grass Pokemon. Now, I still kind of feel that way, mostly because if I had to pick a Razor Leafer, I have other preferences. We'll come to that shortly. But it does do quite a lot of damage with Razor Leaf. Leaf Blade is quite a good DPE move. Aerial Ace and Stomp are there as your flex options. And you can run it as a flying user if you prefer, so it's an interesting pick. It is a good Razor Leafer. I just have other preferences. Alright, now we're getting into the pointy end of things with Meganium. So the poor man's Venusaur. Now, he's really not. He's quite a good Pokemon. With Earthquake instead of Sludge Bomb, he's fairly much the same as Venusaur. He does do one thing better though, and that's beat the metal types. So your Probopass, your Bastiodon, your Melmetal, so they're sort of anti-flyer types. Earthquake does much better than Sludge Bomb will with Venusaur, where Venusaur just Frenzy Plants his way through things. Now the downside of Meganium is it does lose to pretty much all of the other grass types because they have poison attacks and Meganium doesn't have access. So yeah, he's good, but I personally don't think the loss of Sludge Bomb is worth having the wins against those anti-flyers, because I really should be using other things against those anti-flyers. And now for the beast that is Venusaur. So Venusaur, we've all should have used this in multiple cups by now, but for anyone new, he's got Vine Whip and Razor Leaf. He does do better as a Vine Whip user than a Razor Leaf user. Look at the DPS and you think, oh, why is that? Purely because it's double the energy gain. So Venusaur is going to get to a Frenzy Plant twice as fast with Vine Whip than he is with Razor Leaf. So that's what you want. So 45 energy for Frenzy Plant, big damage. He's a beast. He's one of the best grass Pokemon, and we'll discuss why just at the end. And last but not least, we have Victory Bell. So he's a poison and grass Pokemon. He's got poison and grass attacks. Razor Leaf and Acid are his fast moves. Acid's trash, don't use it. So he's a Razor Leaf user. So he's very rarely going to get to more than one charged move. So you've got to consider that with your opponents. So lots of people are running Acid Spray as a debuff and then just let the Razor Leafs do the rest. Sludge Bomb's great for other grass and psychic Pokemon. Grass moves are obviously great for water types. Rock and Ground as well. Yeah, he's a really great Pokemon. Probably, in my estimation, one of the better Razor Leaf users. In my opinion, guys, you've got 4 solid choices, 1 Swiss Army knife, a whole bunch of maybes depending on your points, and I'm going to come out and say it, Ivysaur is a no. I mean, if you don't have Meganium or Venusaur with Frenzy Plant and you really want a Vine Whip user, I just think there's better stuff out there. So, number 1 5-point pick is going to be Venusaur. Number 2 would be Meganium. Number 3 would be Tropius, just because I actually like Victory Bell better than Tropius. So, I'd rather use 1 point and get Victory Bell than have to waste another 4 for my Tropius. Sceptile could be an interesting one. I think that's for those people who like to throw out that weird thing out there. But yeah, check out your team. It all depends on your team composition. So have a play with all of them. See what you like, what you don't like. But my personal 2 favorites for these comp, and pretty much for all PvP, to be honest, is Venusaur and Victory Bell. Alright guys, take it easy.